once more, as we have maybe the miss ban a while ago, as Team Secret goes for Ziggs.
Yep, this is the Ziggs, just as you mentioned, being firstly kicked out of the game for now. As Galio, no surprises there. Now, are they going to be banning the usual supports, Braum? Because Ziggs, we didn't really see Ziggs banned earlier, as they are afraid that will go towards NEXPLAY eSports side. That's an Orianna ban.
Indeed. So this leaves up Corki, Seraphine in the mid lane, or maybe a 1-to-1 type of situation, but NEXPLAY eSports still gonna prioritize that Vi. They don't want to fight that Vi or that Galio, with Team Secret prioritizing the Camille in the Baron lane.
Makes me wonder, what are they falling back towards the Mundo this time around? That could be a potential Braum, but looks like they are having a very fast draft. They're gonna pick up Horizon's Akali once more. Let's see whether or not Team Secret wants to deny that Braum away from Kai'Sa.
Yeah, and they're bringing back the game 1, right? Kai'Sa, Kali, first 2 picks of NXP. So they're putting it back in this game. But like I've stated, how Braum is now going to be cancelled by Team Secret against NEXPLAY eSports. They're picking it up, and this actually alleviates their draft from a while ago. They lack in tanks, and they now brought in a tanky champion.
Yeah, that's true. They do have the Braum for themselves. Now they do have very strong top Baron laners, rather, which is the Fiora and Camille. But seeing the Fiora now, that is going to be a Camille jungle. I like this hover. If they do pick it up, I will love it even more. That's going to be a Gragas secured. Do not want to give too much on Team Secret side. So I love the double disengage lock-in from NEXPLAY.
Yeah, you have a lot of safety right now for that Kai'Sa to actually scale up, goes for free hits into the back end. But Team Secret, you know what? Seraphine, we're gonna stick to it. It's our trump card and we want to have it. But Team Secret is now going in for the Ezreal. We talked about how Corki can be changed up onto this champion, and Team Secret is now gonna pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to discuss this earlier, and you're right, Ezreal here being their AD carry on Shui. Now, who is the missing link? Who will be your jungler? It is going to be a hover onto Lee Sin, and that will be a final lockdown onto that champion. Looking pretty solid, looking pretty similar actually to game number 1 for NEXPLAY eSports back in the Kai'Sa Disaster Uzi duo, back at it again with Horizon, with the scary Akali, and I guess more tankier champions on the side of NEXPLAY eSports as well.
And now the question would be, who is the true king of the jungle, right? Just Chi with the Lee Sin, and Camille being used by Trevor. And Riku, we talked about it a while ago before the game even occurred, right? We talked about who is gonna be the better jungler, because the jungler is very strong and is someone that could put the game back in their favor, or put the game upside down. And Just Chi is a Lee Sin king. He is very strong on this champion, so now I'm excited to see on how it's gonna turn out. And this is also their answer on the Ezreal, because the Vi is not available.
Yeah, absolutely looking forward to, just as you mentioned, it's going to be a king of the jungle fight, I suppose. Who's going to be the better jungler? And at the end of the night, who's going to be the bitter jungler? Okay, I had to pause just for that. Okay, so I'm sorry. But yeah, I like this Camille and Lee Sin pick. I remember we brought it up earlier on how Camille sort of has the same aspect or concept as the Lee Sin. You have strong engage early, and you can sort of isolate a target. Although I feel like Camille's Hextech ultimatum is so much easier to execute. It's all about that timing, insect kick. However, the Dragon's Rage, however, is more challenging, but more flashier. But yeah, a lot of CC that you can pile on the NEXPLAY eSports side. And we get to see the Glacial Fissure, and as well as, not the Echo, you know this, the Encore. The Encore of the Seraphine. We see that so good. And I feel like the cherry on top is the true shot barrage of an Ezreal. After that, really good spread of damage.
Absolutely. And we've thought about how Team Secret has their synergies up, and now we can talk about how NEXPLAY eSports has the counter engagement, right? Team Secret, the Hextech ultimatum is gonna be key. It's gonna be perfect. But because of the Lee Sin with the kick and because of the Gragas with the explosive cast, this can now be counteract. So if Hextech Ultimatum rather, okay, that was a wordful, but if that connects onto Kaisa and you have that explosive cast and kick coming through, that's gonna get completely cancelled out. And Kaisa is now free to kite and go for the killer instinct into the back end and maybe pick off the Seraphine, the Azrael. We never know, but that is gonna be the important champions right now for teams you get to remove if they don't want to deal with those massive damage.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's absolutely scary to think about. Team Secret, imagine just as you brought up, Hextech Ultimatum into Kaisa, but then the explosive casket or the monsoon will just completely throw off Team Secret's positioning in a fight. And I feel like that's when NEXTPLAY will be able to come up on top, even though Team Secret does have such a good wombo combo going on for themselves. As long as they're able to sort of disrupt their positioning, I think NEXTPLAY will be able to come up on top in some of these fights. Now, I'm curious whether or not we're going to be seeing an early 5v5 in the first Dragon, because that's usually what we see when we see these two teams. I think the game number 1 was the first time we've seen them not interacting at all in the first, I don't know, 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And going to the aggressiveness, I think it would happen where it comes you're gonna have a fight, because Lee Sin is a champion that is very strong when it comes to early game and falls off in mid-game, late-game fights. So I'm thinking NEXTPLAY Esports is gonna prioritize onto this champion. He wants to go for roam, he wants to go for the kills. And we talked about how Jax previously is farming champions instead of monsters, and I think we can see it once more here in NEXTPLAY Esports versus Team Secret. And we saw in game number 1, Team Secret just let the Dragon be on NEXTPLAY Esports, and having that Braum, Ezreal, and Seraphine right now, I think they're gonna contest this in terms of objectives. So I think the 4-minute mark is gonna be something that we can look forward to.
Yeah, the 4-minute mark, or possibly before that, as considering that I just realized we are going to be late realization for sure, but we are going to be having a Chule Tatsuri matchup, but a very tough one for Tatsuri, considering that is a Gragas Lee Sin. We might see a little bit of lane swap, maybe. We'll have to see. Maybe the Ezreal Braum in the mid lane, maybe a 1-2-1 perhaps. But we're now in the game. This is game number 2 between NEXTPLAY Esports versus Team Secret. NEXTPLAY Esports already 1 game ahead. Again, this is a BO3 series. Very excited to see how this pans out.
Ooh. But you know what's interesting? We have Chule with the Gragas mid laner against Tatsuri of a Seraphine. It's untraditional, it's unconventional, but it worked out for NXP in their previous tournaments. I saw Chule use this Gragas in a very dominant way, in a very dominant fashion. So I'm expecting something new in this game number 2.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be very scary for a Seraphine. Expect flashes to be burned, barriers to be burned on Tatsuri, because you have to deal with a mid-jungle duo who is amazing at these engages, at these ganks. So gotta be careful of that flash body slam, gotta be careful of that sonic wave coming from Just-G. So now, Tatsuri gotta be careful, just as Trevor will have to probably try to match the aggression.
Absolutely. So we talked about the mid lane, as you know what, it's something that is very dominant. But now let's look at the Baron lane. Fiora versus an Akali. And I think Horizon has the opportunity to go for some shrouds and go back to safety. But overall, Fiora into the early matches can just go for a post. But we have another fight into the Brave Scuttler.
Yeah, that is a 3v3 fighting towards the Scuttler. Nicely done body slam. Trevor insanely low at this point, and that will be first blood, not yet, as the shield from Trevor kicks in. But there is the kill. There is the dive. That's 2 kills already for NEXTPLAY as Trevor and Hamas falls. And NXP, you may not have secured the Scuttler, but you have secured the kills. That tornado, that knockup turns into a follow-up kill. Nicely done by Disaster. That is enough for that go button for NXP to dive in.
Yeah, and we talked about how Chule with the Gragas mid lane is a very dominant champion. He is dominant in terms of his aggressiveness and in terms of his response. So I like how I'm seeing right now 0-3 in favor of NXP. With 2k gold lead, they can now have those items up and running for their team. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, Disaster already has the redemption knock.
That is crazy. That will mean a huge extra utility on top of the monsoon available for the dragon that will come up in a minute or so. But at least for Rift Scuttlers, it's one apiece. But for sure, NEXPLAY Esports has gotten the best deal out of that exchange at the bottom side of the map.
Absolutely, but let's look at the dragon lane right now. We talked about the Baron lane, we talked about mid lane. Now, Kai'Sa, Ezreal. I think Kai'Sa is more of the mid-game, late-game type of champion, but considering they got the first 3 kills, now the Bee of Sword and Executioner's Calling is available for himself. So that's actually quite huge. It's like 1 longsword remaining for his first kill, a Kaitian Rain, to be upgraded, while Ezreal has the Manatee and the longsword alone. So Maramune is still not going to be available for that Ezreal.
At least we'll be able to get that stacks on the tier early. But for now, you're right. It's a little bit... it's going to be a little bit air quote chill in the bottom side of the map till the next dragon spawns for these 2 teams. Right now, it's still going to be a duel on the top side of the map a little bit. But it looks like we're not going to be seeing the team secret style of having to go up and see if they can burn a summoner spell. They are just going to see whether or not they can position themselves early into that dragon.
And interestingly enough, Riku, I think you have a prediction in mind because Camille is going to the top side of the map. I think they want that turret instead of the dragon. They're going in for the Tower First Blood, which gives every single one of Team Secret gold. And I think this is done to alleviate the negative pressure of NEXPLAY Esports with a 2k gold deficit right now with the 3 kills instantly from the game.
Yeah, 2 of your Baron laners-ish picks-wise wanted to dive into Ryzen, but still no flash being burnt. But here comes Chule with the Gragas. Is he even needed as Ryzen is super low at this point? But Azar as well, and there's the casket for the final blow as Trevor dives into the tower with a Hextech ultimatum used towards Justy. He is eating tower hits, but he has the Guardian Angel activated, and 1 more smash from Chule will secure the kill, and that is a 2-4-0 in favor of NXP.
And that's what I'm saying. If a Lee Sin has a GA first item, it enables him to dive under turrets and become more aggressive. And that is how NXP has utilized this item. And with that kill, with that damage against Team Secret, they now got the Tower First Blood. And now they're sitting at a 4k gold lead, now coming right up to a 5k gold lead. So basically, they're sitting at a very good position.
Yeah, that is huge for NEXPLAY Esports. Not only did they get the first dragon out of the game, I mean, it's an air drake, still very important when it comes to roaming the map and making map plays, but at the same time, they managed to get first blood tower, which is so huge because they didn't really have to exchange anything off of the map. They even got more out of it.
Absolutely, and now with the wave clears from NXP Chule and with the wave clears from Akali, the Rift Herald is going to be open. This is something that Team Secret wants because they lost a lot of gold already. And having that Rift Herald may potentially alleviate this disadvantage to go for turrets. So that is the reason why we're seeing Team Secret now hovering into the Rift Herald's pit.
Yeah, this is the thing. Will we be able to see the Encore Glacial Fissure True Shot Barrage combo that we've been waiting for? But oh no, Chule is in the middle of it all as that's 5 members just trying to focus their damage onto Wharton. Horizon dives into the fight, backs away immediately as the stun kicks in. No one falls so far, but it is an exchange of ultimates and as well as summoner spells. But now, no one will be at the Rift Herald for now.
That was looking in favor of Team Secret in the early matches. It's an Hextech ultimatum on Chule with no ultimate. But because of a Lee Sin with a counter engage that lead NXP to become more dominant in that fight. But now we're looking into another fight as Team Secret hovered in Rift Herald.
Yeah, this is going to be a Rift Herald fight as Horizon will dive in, and because of that, we've got Justy securing that Rift Herald. And now Trevor unfortunately falls down, and as well as Azar, that's 2 members down for Team Secret. And now NXP will be satisfied with that as they summon the Rift Herald immediately. Look at Disaster! The flash! Second skill just to secure the kill. Disaster, you are so bloodthirsty. The rest of NXP will be happy about that.
The reason why Disaster is named Disaster is because he brings disaster to the enemy team. And that is just perfect for NXP. And they got into map control with the tier 1 turret breaking down in the mid lane. Now, Team Secret needs to play a bit more passively in this fight because they can't go in a 5v5 setup against NXP in a phase front type of duel because they are lacking in the gold aspect of the game and they're lacking in terms of their ultimates because Tatsuri is not gonna have that ultimate and Trevor is not gonna have a good time because they have Chule and Just Chi to counter it out.
Yeah, Encore. We didn't really get to see that wombo combo we keep talking about earlier. I think that was one of the few instances where we get to see a 5v5. And unfortunately, because of Horizon diving into the fray, the rest of Team Secret were a little bit distracted, and Just Chi was able to secure that objective. Now, next objective has spawned. NXP again, first dibs on this area, but the rest of Team Secret are far away. They are going to give this up.
And we're looking at a repeat in history. It was Cloud Dragon first, and now another Dragon scared by NXP. But now, it's a massive gold deficit for Team Secret. It's so hard to put them down at this point. And I think having that wombo combo type of setup is gonna be very hard. And that is, I think, one of the reasons why we don't see that huge reliance on those wombo combo drafts. Right? There more of times there are two huge AoE CCs, but the other is more on the balance type of situations, the single targeted CC. And I think that's the thing that is gonna be very important. So if Team Secret utilizes that very well, maybe Tatsuri with a charm immediately, with a Hextech ultimatum, and the Glacial Fissure, I think that is their opportunity to make it a comeback. But now Just Chi goes for the jungle invade.
Yeah, blue secured. Stealing that away from Team Secret. NEXPLAY Esports very comfortable now, just moving around, but their target is Chule. He's all alone as Disaster's walking towards the river. I don't think he will make it out alive as he is bursted down. Disaster tried his best, he was nearby, but the damage was just too much coming from Team Secret.
But at the end of the day, there were a lot of ultis actually breaking down as Just Chi goes for the flank.
There's the killer instinct, and Trevor might be in the middle of it all, but he is a Camille. He is fine. Good attempt from NXP, at least to try to even out the kill score from 1-1. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see that as James just burned summoner spells.
And speaking of burning spells, Team Secret burned out a lot of ultimates. I think I want to say that earlier, when after they got with a 5v1 type of gank against Chule, they got the Trevor ultimate out, they got the ultimate of Tatsuri out, and James as well, not having any of these ultimates. So right now, NEXPLAY Esports is looking at a very good situation because they have the explosive casket. They have Horizon with the ultimate as well, so they can just go in, go for some pickoffs, and after that, go for the Baron Nashor. Indeed, gonna be the situation right now. And now, it depends on Team Secret if they would allow NEXPLAY Esports to just go ham into this fight.
That's true, they do have the capability of catching someone off guard, considering the fact that Team Secret is a little bit separated at the moment. They have to push the waves. Just Chi looking for a pick towards Tatsuri. Looks like the Sonic Wave will not connect, but they're now starting the Baron for the bait. Trevor and James sees this though. Now, Horizon jumping in towards James. He is all alone, but he changes targets. He's aiming for Chewy. He's all alone as well, but Azar will exchange blows with the rest of the squad. Now, he's got the first blood. That will be Tatsuri, as the rest of the squad from NXP just chasing down Azar, and as well as Chewy. And Trevor retreats. That is 2 members minus. The wombo combo that we've been waiting for will not be available for Team Secret as NEXPLAY Esports starts the Baron.
Absolutely. You talked about the bait, and I think that was the perfect description of how NEXPLAY Esports was playing it. They were baiting out Team Secret, and that was Akali's moment. That was the perfect time. He went in, dashed against the enemy team, killed the ADC, killed the Tatsuri, and killed of James. And after that, they were done for. They just went back, went in for Baron Nashor to then go for the reset. Right? They want to go for those items because they have those gold already in their pockets.
That's true. It's a little bit early, 12 minutes into the game, and little bit too soon. The death timers are very, very short at this point of the game. So might as well for NEXPLAY Esports to set up a dragon instead. But so far, Team Secret doing really well. But Uzi will find Azar here as he's the one being focused on. Here's the redemption being dropped, but that's 3 members. But anyway, nicely done kick onto Trevor, but not again. It's like deja vu, but different people dead. Azar and Trevor have been eliminated for 20 seconds or so, and that is a free Baron.
Free Baron rather, indeed. Because Trevor is not going to be available for Team Secret. That is the jungler of TS. And without the smite, they cannot potentially get that Baron for the steal. So NEXPLAY Esports has the free reign onto that one. Now it's going to be the utilization of ANY.C onto the Baron buff, going all lane pressure.
Yeah, doing a 1-1-1 as the 2 members from NXP, Uzi and Disaster, tries to finish the dragon at this point. Not wasting any time to utilize this Baron buff. And now, Just-G actually just gonna play with Azar a little bit. But take note, Trevor is nearby. He still does his job, as the rest of NXP still are in the mid lane, but it's gonna be a 1v2 situation. Just-G is golden, but he safeguards towards safety. He is A-OK.
A-OK indeed, but what's not A-OK is how NXP is now pressuring into the mid lane and into the Baron lane. They're gonna secure that inhibitor turret in the Baron lane, so now 2 more turrets are gonna be remaining.
2 more turrets, that is the cap, that is the flash used by James. And at this point, you have Disaster, the rest of the squad rather, as the Seraphine Encore being used, flashes and Summoner Spells being exchanged over here as Horizon decides to join in the fight. There's the dash, there's everybody else from Team Secret diving into their own base, as now 5 people are still complete and they're hitting that tower and Nexus down with NEXPLAY Esports 2-0ing Team Secret this time around.